This video will walk you through a simplified version of the linked list. So what you're seeing here is we have a class link, and in that class link we just basically have a link which has a data and some kind of a variable called next, which is going to be of its own type. So the link can have a link variable. And the only thing we're going to be able to do to this link is just display it and give it a value initially. Now, in addition to this class, we also have a class linked list. And what this linked list has a link which is called first, right? So just think of the link that we have that we already have, but in the linked list, all it is just one that's called first, right? Link first. Okay, and so let's make this linked list. Let's see how it works. So in my main, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say linked list is equal to the list is equal to new linked list. Okay, what is this going to do? This is going to call my constructor, right? And what we're going to do in here is we're going to say that this link first is equal to no, right? So basically that's what we're doing. As soon as we make a new list, we're telling that the first is equal to no. There's nothing in that list. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to insert a couple of links. So first I'm going to insert a link with a value of 22. So we're going to go to insert first, and you're going to see that we're making a new link with a value of whatever we gave it. So that will be my new link, and I'm going to call it link 1, which is going to have a data of 22. So that's what we did in this line here, right? We have just created a new link, and we have given it a value of 22. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say that the new link next is equal to the first. Okay, but remember that the first is actually equal to no. So what I'm saying here is I'm telling it next is equal to first, which is actually equal to no. Okay, so what I'm really saying is I'm telling it next is equal to no here. Okay, because initially first was equal to no. So my new link now has a data of 22 and next is equal to no. So that's at this point here. And now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say that, okay, well now my first is equal to the new link. So instead of having equal to no here, what I'm going to do is I'm basically making the first equal to that first link. Like so. Okay? So the first is equal to the new link. They're the same thing at this point. So that's the next thing. So this is the 3 lines. That's what the 3 lines just did. We created a new link, we gave it a 22, we made the next equal to no, and then we made the first equal to that first link. Okay? Easy enough. Now let's go to the next step. We're going to insert another link, insert first 44. So the value 44 is going to be sent over. That's going to be this here. We're going to make a new link, and that new link is going to be this here, right? I'm going to put a little label in there, L2, so you recognize it. So this link has a data of 44. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to say new link next is equal to first. But the first is equal to the new link 1. So what I'm really telling it here is I'm telling it that the next here is equal to the L1. Okay? So that's basically, now at this point I'm establishing a link between these two, right? So link 2 links to L1, and now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, well the first is equal to the new link. So now we're just grabbing the first and we're going to tell it, okay, well you're now equal to this new link. So the first points to the first link, to the new link we inserted, and then the new link points to the last link, which in turn points to no. Let's do it one more time. Now we're going to insert another link, this time with a value of 66. So inserting the value of 66, we're going to go to insert first. We're making a new link with a value of 66. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to say new link next is equal to the first, which in turn actually tells it that new link next That's the third link that we're inserting, right? So the third link, I'll label it like this. The next for that one is equal to the first. And what was the first before? Well, it was equal to the L2. So I'm actually telling it you are equal to L2. So at this point now, what I have done is I have now set up a connection between these two links as well. Okay, so now this link points to the other link. And now the next thing that I need to do is I'm going to say first is equal to the new link. So now the first moves down like so. And that's how it works. So we have a marker that keeps track of which link is the first. And every time we insert a link, we link it to the previous links and so on. So this is the insert first method. Now, how does the delete first work? Well, the delete first works actually even easier than the insert first. So how does delete first work? Well, all we're telling it is link temp is equal to the first. So we're gonna say this here is equal to temp, right? And then the next thing is I'm going to say that first is equal to first next. So remember, when I talk about first, I'm actually talking about this link. So when I say first next, I'm actually referring to this field right here. So when I say first is equal to the first next, this is first, right? When I tell it equals to first next, I'm actually telling it that the first is actually going to be moved here now. And that's it. That's all there is. And since there is no object referencing this link here, what will happen is the Java garbage collector will just go in there and automatically wipe that out from memory for you. Okay, so that is in a nutshell how the insert works and how the delete first works. Now, how does delete work? Well, for the delete, what we're going to do is we're going to need a couple of links, right? For the delete business to work, what we're going to do is we're going to have two links. One is going to be current and one is going to be previous, right? And the reason for that is that if we want to delete this link here, what we need to do is we need to tell the previous link to connect to the next one, right? That's what we're going to do. That's going to be basically the deletion. But in order for me to do that, I need to have two variables. One is going to be for my current, and then another one is going to be for my previous. Okay? So the way it's going to work is the current is going to be one step ahead of the previous. We're going to start at the first, and the current is always going to be one link ahead of the previous. What's going to happen is we're going to keep looking until my current data is equal to the key. So let's say we're looking for 44. If my current data, which is the 44, is equal to the value that I'm looking for, so I found it, current is going to stop here. And then what we're going to do is two things. So two things when we stop here. If the current happened to be the first one, right? So if the current is if the current is actually the first link, then what we're going to do is we're just going to delete the first like we did before. We're just going to tell it first is equal to the first next, so that will just grab the first and it will move it to one up, right? But if it is not the first link that we're trying to delete, right? Let's say the current is this one here. Then what we're going to do is then we're going to use the previous, right? We're going to tell it previous next is equal to the current next. So what does that mean? Previous next is this is equal to current next. So what I'm actually telling it is I'm telling it this here, L2, is actually equal to L1. So now this link points to this link. right? And nothing points to the link to anymore. So what that means is Java will just automatically erase that for you. Okay? So that is how the deletion works for your linked list. If you have any questions, please let me know.